Welcome back. This is my wife's 2002 XR100. A few episodes ago, I made this street legal, and this is a blast to ride around town. When we first picked up this bike, it was all clapped out. We paid $400 for it. We just recently freshened up the motor with all brand new OEM parts, and now we've got a couple hours on it, and I just want to drain the oil because this type of bike does not come with an oil filter on it. So it's crucial that you maintain these bikes and drain the oil often, and they'll last forever, because without an oil filter, it's just going to constantly spin any debris or anything that it gets in the motor and continue to pump it through it. So you're better off changing it more often than not. So that's what we're going to do today. We've got 2 hours on this top end rebuild, and we're going to dump out the oil, check it out, freshen it up, and look everything over, and we'll probably check the valve adjustment just to make sure we're still in spec. Here's our drain plug up under here. I've already pre-loosened it. And the oil looks pretty clean. Now we'll screw the drain plug back in. Now all the oil's drained out. I usually get a couple uses out of one of these crush washers. I think the manual probably says replace it every time, but I just do it every other, or every couple times, 3 times, or whatever. And we torque it to 18 foot-pounds. I've already cleaned out my measuring container. Now I'm going to clean out my funnel. Because if you're trying to put clean oil in it and your funnel's filthy, then that's kind of defeating the purpose. This bike takes just a hair under a quart of oil. I don't know if you can see that little highlighted black mark, but that's 16 ounces, and there is 32 ounces to a quart. So just fill it to that line, and then dump in another one just under that, and it should be right on the money. Go do one more. We'll check it at that. Then I like to put it right back in the jug and reuse it again for next time. Now, I'm actually putting it back in this jug. Hopefully you guys have a storm drain close by so you guys can dispose of this cheaply and quickly. Let's see what happens in the comments. Alright, let's see the oil level. Yep, that looks good. It's right in that window. Perfect. Figured while we're right here and we got it on the lift, might as well check the valve adjustment. Make sure everything stayed good and everything's all still in spec. A lot easier to do it on the lift than it is bending over on the ground. Probably also check the torque on the head and all that while I'm here. Bringing this motor is real easy to get up to top dead center, so we can see that the cam is closing one of the valves. We want the valves facing down, so I'm just pushing on the Kickstarter real careful, real slow. Okay, it's going to start going down the other side. Oh, the other one started rising, so now it's going to be probably on like the compression stroke. There, that's going to be right in the vicinity where we want it. Then we come over and look over here. We can see how that little circle right there, it's got to work its way to the top, and then these bolts will be parallel to the top of the head. And then they'll be at top dead center. Then we can check our valve clearance. So I'll continue to push the kickstart a little bit until that cam gear turns a little bit, as you can see. Keep going just a little bit. Okay, there it is. The little dot right there is facing up. The cam bolts are horizontal. And the cam lobes inside there are facing down, and I believe it's 0.02 of an inch clearance for this. Yep, I can hear clearance there, and I can hear clearance there. So I'll check with the feeler gauge, but it looks right off like they're right. Here's a 0.02 feeler gauge. See if we can get that in there. Yep, we can. Yeah, it's got just a little bit of drag on it. Try a 3 just to prove that it's going to be good. Yeah, and it's a doubtful 3/1000 will fit. No. And that's the intake, and that should be 2/1000. Oh, that's a little, might be big. No, maybe not. A 3 won't fit. Nope, a 3/1000 will not fit. So we're good. I didn't like how that exhaust valve was kind of tight, so I just loosened it just a little bit. So now that 2/1000 will fit in there pretty easily now, and a 3/1000 won't. So it was just a tight 2/1000, but we're good now. See that? And just to give it a quick try, we'll try to get a 3 in there. You can see, yeah, it's not going. And once again, while I'm right here, might as well torque the cylinder head bolts. Alright, we've confirmed that those are all within spec. Might as well get this thing buttoned back up again. Just a lot easier to do it while it's right here. Confirm that everything is up to torque and just where everything should be, you know? I just got the head torqued back on, and I pulled the spark plug out to see how it was running, and it kind of confirmed what I was feeling. Is it felt at like wide open throttle that it was running a little bit lean. Felt like it was starving for fuel. I've already pulled off the carburetor and cleaned it just to see if there's anything wrong with it. I checked the float levels. The float levels are really good. So it could be a couple things. It could have just been something in the carburetor, so we'll give it a try and see if it still has that after I've cleaned the carb. Or it could be that I think somebody took this exhaust apart. Well, I know they did. They took it apart before I got it, and they MIG welded this cap on here because it's a little bit louder than normal. So they basically just gutted this spark arrestor. Then it could be that it's just not getting enough fuel, and maybe I've got to change the clip position on the slide. I have no idea where that's at. So we'll put the spark plug back in it, and probably just give it a go first and see how it runs with where it's at right now, because it could have been just a little speck of dirt in the carburetor from sitting. That's very possible. And then if it's corrected, we'll know that that was the problem. And if not, then we will. The next step will be we'll check the slide and see where the clip's at on that. Maybe we'll even check it before we put the tank on, because it's kind of a pain to check it after the fact, and then we'll go from there. This bike runs incredibly nice, and it did fix the problem with it smoking occasionally. It used to smoke once it was warmed up a little bit, and then you'd let off the gas when you were going maybe around 40, and a bunch of puff of white smoke would just come out the exhaust. I think that was valve seals, but figured while I was in there, like I said, I put all new cylinder, put a new piston rings, wrist pin, and valve seals, and I did that all with Honda OEM stuff, and I'll have a link to that video if you want to check it out. Before I put the tank on, I wanted to check where the clip was on the needle, and it is up 2 from the bottom. I think that that's where it is for factory. Alright, you got the gas on, chokes on, put the key on. Alright, let's see. nice. Doesn't smoke anymore either. Alright, well, get her back together and maybe take her for a little rip. Alright, I think we got it dialed in. I just raised it back up on the lift. I raised the needle in the slide by dropping the clip down a little bit, and what that does is that richens it a little, and I think we're good now. Now it seems to be pretty crisp when you chop it. So we'll try that and see how it does. It doesn't have that bog and hesitation like it had before. Good. Now we got to give her a try. So since we raised that clip up, I know it seems like it's probably only been like a minute or two, but it's actually been about 3 weeks, just because we've had bad weather and I've been doing other stuff. But here we are, we've got some decent weather right now. I'm gonna finally try it out. I gotta go run to the hardware store and pick up an O-ring for my pressure washer. It's kind of leaking at the wand, so hopefully they have one. This will be the first time it's been on the road since we've adjusted that clip. So hopefully it'll run maybe a little bit richer. Let's see, turn the fuel on. Oh, it actually started first kick. It just stalled, gotta do it again. It's a Honda. If you guys haven't seen this rebuild series, guys, the carb on this bike was the worst carburetor I've ever dealt with. It was super clogged and super plugged. I put it in like chem dip, boiled it, put an ultrasonic cleaner, finally put it on the stove and boiled it for quite a while, just letting it soak and give it a go. All right, is that on? That's off. There we go. All right, so we'll turn on our headlight by turning on that switch, and that turns on the dash. There we are. All right, let's go. Best part is this doesn't smoke anymore. All right, here we go. I must look cute. 200-pound guy on this little 100. Now, I don't know if I've said it or not, I don't remember. I've actually re-geared this. I actually changed the front sprocket and put a smaller one on it from the larger one that I had, which is equivalent to 4 teeth in the back. So it actually has a little more torque down low, doesn't go as fast up high. And the reason I changed that is so that it would just be a little more suitable for trail riding. Now that I've just bought my wife that new XR100 or 150 on off-road enduro, she'll be riding that a lot more on the street, and she'll be dedicating this a little bit more just to like trail riding. Seems to be running great. Super crisp throttle response. With that other gear that I had on it, on a good day, it'd do about 50. Which, obviously you wouldn't want to take this on the highway, but that's, you know, good speed for cruising around town, and, you know, just a fun bike just to go run down to the store, you know. See if I can cross these railroad tracks without killing myself. There we go. Railroad tracks are so dangerous, especially those there. They're in real bad shape. Yeah, definitely throttle response is better than it was before. It's instant now. It's crisp, no hesitation. You can just chop the throttle and it just crisp. Huh? Seems to be doing good. Wide open throttle. Not bogging. They say avoid like wide open throttle for like when you're first rebuilding something, but I kind of do that too. Then we'll just flick it right in here. Then we turn off our headlight, turn off our switch, and that's it. That's all you got to do to shut this down. All right, I got to go in and see if I can find myself that O-ring. Hopefully they have it. This hardware store usually has a pretty good selection of everything. All right, so that was a bust. No go there. So we're gonna go to Harbor Freight and probably just buy a whole kit. It's one of those, it's an electric pressure washer. It's a yellow one. I think it's called a Karcher or something like that, made by a company called Karcher. I feel like it might be German, but I don't know 100%. But all right, let's see. Can we make it 2 for 2 on starting first kick? Let's see. Look at that. First kick. Didn't even give it throttle. I think we might have to rejet this a little bit fatter. Go a little bit more fuel with it. So watch my hand right here. Ready? Well, I mean, I guess it's increasing. Yeah, it is increasing. I don't know. I think it's got to be rejetted. Maybe we'll put a fatter jet in it and see how that works. I think the only issue that it would need to be maybe rejetted is because, like I said, somebody gutted out that muffler can, and it's probably just got a little more flow. And I think back when this bike was built, which is 02, the EPA was like really strict with you know, emissions and trying to run everything super lean. So that could be part of it too. So could just be very lean from the factory, and combined with gutting out that muffler can that is just too lean. Keep reaching for another gear, just trying to get another gear out of it, but it is what it is. Like I say, I've geared it a little bit lower, or however you want to put it,
I've made it so it doesn't go as fast. So the top end is less, but it has a little more torque on the bottom end. And that was, like I said, through the front sprocket by putting on a smaller one from the biggest one that I've had on it. The reason I did it that way is by changing the front sprocket by 1 tooth, I think you're actually to the equivalent of changing the rear tooth by 4. And by changing the front, you don't necessarily have to change your chain. But if I went with a larger diameter back sprocket to do the same thing, my chain would probably be too short, because I've changed this a lot from the factory, like probably 15 or so teeth on the back less than what the factory had, just so I could get these speeds out of it. I don't see any smoke. Nope. Come on, it's right on red. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I think I will try rejetting this, guys, and see what it does. I think it's gonna probably help, I would think. I'm gonna go right to Harbor Freight and buy one of those little assortment kits. You can get the whole thing of like O-rings for like 10 bucks or something like that, and they'll probably have that O-ring that I need, hopefully. Yeah, this is great fun bike, guys. If you have the opportunity to do this in your state, I highly recommend it. I paid 400 bucks for this bike, and then I completely went through it and had a bent frame, a bent subframe, I should say. I straightened that out and replaced a lot of the parts with Honda OEM stuff, and then I built the street kit and made it street legal. Everything is over-the-counter parts that you can buy. Got a lot of stuff through Amazon. The street kit is Tusk, and this little bracket here I built, this little piece of aluminum bar, that's it. But other than that, I was hoping I could catch the light. Darn it. And here we are. Take the key so nobody swipes it. We're a little bit in a better area of town over at the other hardware store, but not so much over here. All right. I ended up getting, I'll show you what I got. I ended up getting 3 kits. It's going to make it hard to haul it home, so I had to submit to, you know, buying a 5-cent bag. So what did I get? I got all, because they all had different sizes. So I got this Viton one, which has these sizes, and this one looks standard, and then these ones have some metric ones in it. So hopefully, and it came to like 20 bucks. So hopefully with all of those that I have, I'll have everything that I need. I need to get a like one of those web nettings so I can haul stuff on the back of the fender. Makes it a lot easier. Throw my key in it. There. All right, let's see if the gauge comes on now. Yeah, see, I don't know, isn't that weird? I don't know why it does that. Very odd. I just have to kind of like stuff this in front of me and hope that it doesn't come off. I know what I'll do. Look at this. So I don't even see this. I kind of got it rolled like this, and I'll sit on the top part of the bag, which will hold it to me. There, now it can't come out. Perfect. Unless I come off it. All right, let's do this. Turn on my headlight. Riding this thing bow-legged. All right, let's get back and I can see if this O-ring fits. When I laced these wheels up, because I replaced the outer ring on the back wheel, so I bought a new wheel and I bought spokes, and when I laced that up, it was my first time ever doing it, and I got the wheel within like 5/1000ths of an inch of being like perfectly this way, and even better like this way. So I was super happy. So this goes down the road super smooth. This goes down the road just as smooth as my street bike that has balanced tires. Which these tires are balanced also. Catch the light. These aren't really street tires, so we got to be a little careful of these knobbies. They don't grip quite as good as a street tire would. works pretty good, guys. Hasn't moved a bit, other than having to ride a little bow-legged. That doesn't work too bad. That is it, guys. This thing went flawless. Super happy. Oh yeah. That went great. I don't think we could ask for much better than that, guys. Like I say, I might try to rejet this at some point. I don't know. That is the original carburetor, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it doesn't go too bad right now. It actually goes pretty great. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you like this kind of stuff, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. I'm always doing something on this channel, rebuilding, fixing, doing maintenance, and I'm going to continue to do so. So until the next one, guys, I will see you then. Stay safe. Bye.